This weekend, we are starting a brand new competition called AFTV Picks, where every week we are going to be giving away cash prizes. You can win yourself the share of up to £1,000 by simply entering our free competition. Yeah, it's free to enter. You don't have to spend a penny and you can win yourself a share of £1,000. And guess what? Because it's the North London Derby, we're also giving away one of these bad boys. A brand new PS5. Especially for you, for free. So yo, what are you waiting for? Enter the competition right now. All you gotta be is over 18 and answer a few questions around the North London Derby. And the PS5 could be yours and a share of £1,000. The link is in the description. So what are you waiting for, man? Yeah? Why are you still sitting there? Enter now.
Good morning everyone. Hello, I hope everyone is well. Welcome to the AFTV News Daily with myself, Cecil G. We have James back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I've got the sound machine, it's perfect. Drum roll. We have James back, James B. Woo! Finally, he's back from his trip yesterday. If you guys tuned into yesterday's show, you would know where he went. He may be able to describe to you where he went if you don't know and give you some more details on that. It'll be a good little laugh. Because like I told you yesterday, I was absolutely in stitches when I found out where he was going. I thought it was banter. Now, just quickly touch on that AFTV Picks, that competition. That video was last week's mega prize was the PS5. However, this week's competition is, I promise you, the gifts are even better. It's a share of £1,000, and I'm not going to release the exciting news. I'll let Don Robbie do that this week. But the questions are still, they would have changed. It won't be on the North London Derby, but there'll be questions on there. Very simple. Go over to the app, AFTV Mobi, go onto AFTV Picks, and then yeah, that's it. Really, do the questionnaire, and you win a chance to win a share of £1,000 and a special big prize. I was there when we went shopping for it, so make sure you go check that out. Right. So the only thing I can do now is introduce the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, James B. Hey, bro.
I'm back.
Finally. Jeez, like I said yesterday, it's like not having my right arm when I'm not with James. It's really weird. It's really weird.
You know, like I because obviously Monday we had the problems with the stream, so yeah. I kind of felt like I wasn't really in that one, and then I couldn't do yesterday. So thank you for covering me. Yes. All the banter, I was out having a good day.
What I was gonna say, so obviously you know me, standard. We keep this thing the same. I went in the comments today, looked at some the comments before we started, and this is one I picked out from Gunnar Baller. Says we want Shabozlai. Still can't get the diction and pronunciation right, but it is what it is. Obviously, talks today are from Aouar. But I mean, it's very like neck and neck of Shabozlai and Aouar, who I want personally. I think I'd notched Aouar ahead for me. I'd rather have him over Shabozlai, but there's not much in it for me. James, I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's a good one. I think I lean more towards Aouar personally, but we've got lots to chat about in that area, so look forward to getting into it.
Yes. James, where were you yesterday? Where were you, Randy? Sorry. Oh, it's too much. Oh, this is brilliant. Guys, oh, it's class. They all know. I love you guys that tune into this show. I love you.
Do you know what? I remember this was a present that was given to me like a year and a half ago. But because of the pandemic, we couldn't go. And so when people started calling me Harry Potter in the comments and it became a thing, I remember being like, this day is coming, you know. the day where I eventually go. I go to Harry Potter one, I turn in my gift, and everyone is gonna absolutely kill me for it. But it was good. I highly recommend it. It was good fun.
It literally killed me. It killed me. When you told, I actually thought you were bantering. I actually thought it was a joke. I thought, this guy is not deaf. He's lying to me, man. He's playing on this whole Harry Potter thing. But
no, it was sick. It was really good.
Yeah.
I couldn't recommend it more.
I think sorry to answer this question before we get into football. Mohammed Ahmad says how much to pay for the sound machine. I think I paid about, it was £7 or £5 for this piece of crap. Robbie told me to throw it away yesterday. Everyone's getting on to me. But do you know what? It's a good little stress reliever when we're losing, like when we're lost against Tottenham. I can just throw it around because it needs to go. All right, cool. Oh, this is a good question before we head on. Mm, mm, mm.
That. Our show a couple of days ago, we covered that Buendia is a potential target. I'd love Buendia. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan.
I'm a fan of him as well. Yeah. Arsenal Queen says, no, don't throw it away. People said I got scammed. I did get scammed. You're right. They superimposed the image and made it big. I thought it was going to be a massive sound pad. Turns out it wasn't. All right, cool. Let's get into some of the news. So, yeah, there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot to discuss, obviously, especially, and I'm not even just going to discuss Arsenal. I want to go into talk about Champions League last night, because obviously there's some serious things happen, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, that's definitely worth chatting about as well, because obviously it impacts us.
Exactly. Aouar, the Arsenal Lounge, for sure. He is at the top of the list. Oh, so I'm reading your little ticket this morning.
Yeah.
Which was like very soon.
Well,
let's go down.
So I've got it all here because I don't like to be misquoted on things. So the Arsenal Lounge, another YouTube channel, go check them out, guys. Turkish and lead judges were actually on it as well yesterday. Basically, they had Fabrizio Romano on as a guest, and obviously, rightly asked him about Arsenal, what the latest is, what's going on. The big news was that basically Dominic Szoboszlai still, he's still an option. He's still someone that Arsenal are looking at. They've been supposedly negotiating for many weeks. The reason I say still was because there was a suggestion that Leipzig were basically going to snap him up and that he was going to go there, obviously with the Red Bull connection and all that. So still an option. Arsenal have been speaking to him for a long time and are waiting for his decision, as you can see from that next thing. As a Szoboszlai decision is expected very soon. I'll go into that in a bit more detail because David Ornstein has covered that quite well. But before we touch on Szoboszlai in particular, he also said that if Szoboszlai does go to another club, this is Fabrizio Romano was saying, then Arsenal can and will probably move again for Houssem Aouar. Now, he said that he's not expecting any deal in January to be easy to do. I don't think any of us are. I don't think anyone would think it would be easy. But he is still, as he said here, I'm not expecting an easy deal to sign Aouar in January, but for sure he is at the top of their list. So despite what happened in the summer and not getting that deal over the line, Arsenal have not thrown in the towel on Houssem Aouar at all. I think this is not official information. It's just kind of a feeling I have. I think Szoboszlai is considered more gettable in January and more affordable at £25 million. But I think with Houssem Aouar, there's a suggestion that's more of a summer deal in terms of the money we're talking, the length of negotiation it would take, the profile of player and the club we're dealing with, and the fact that they probably wouldn't sell in January. Why would they? Don't suit them. So I still think we're looking at both, but Aouar is still very much an option.
Yeah. So on that, thank you, HJM. Arteta in Rome wasn't built in a day. Now, so this is. I think we should get both. I know that you said it's very unlikely we're going to get both because of the profile of Aouar. But I think the price we pay for them for Aouar and Szoboszlai will be less than what we paid for Pepe. So I think the business can be done. I'm saying Aouar will probably be around 45 million. Would you say? And then
probably 45 to 55. I don't think it'll get up as far as 60, but yeah.
Yep, towards that, and then add that onto the 25, probably about 75, just a little 3 million over what we paid for Pepe. That's a rich board would consider that and be like, yeah, that's good business. However, we have our board, so whether that will actually happens, probably unlikely. But I just think Arteta needs more than one creative midfielder. And on that note, my Arteta in comment there. People keep asking me, are you Arteta out? Are you Arteta out? And I keep saying no, not yet. I'm very close. It also depends on how we fare against Burnley this weekend. But I'm very much in the belief that we should give Arteta at least his window, at least give him the January window, then assess him very, very intensely on the games going up, because he clearly states in a lot of his press conferences, it's the team. The players aren't good enough. Okay, there is a select few that he's brought in that are. I'm not saying he says this directly, but from what I take, let's let me say that.
I know what you mean.
He doesn't say the players are shit directly, but he does. He questions of the ability. I think he wanted, like James has mentioned before, he wanted to drop a few players like the likes of Xhaka, but due to like COVID tests and injuries, he's had to integrate certain players that he probably doesn't want on the pitch, and they're not his style of play. So I'd say, given the window, the board have to be. They always say they back him. They say they back him. So financially back him. Give him a window. Give him the January. I know it's not the summer, but give him it. and then really assess him after that, because then at least he has the players he has a good spine of players he wanted, and if things don't improve after that, then I'm sorry, that is when I'll make my decision for Arteta out. I'm just going to go through to some of the who just arrived. Who arrived at the studio?
Jason's in the house.
Jeez. Big up Jason. I can see him in the reflection. Yo, Jay. VD 1987 says we need more than just signings. Agreed. All kind of, yeah. Our club infrastructure, the Deadwood medical staff recruitment is failing. Mikel, big up from Philadelphia, USA. Big up, big up, big up. I agree with the Deadwood need to go 100%. They need to start shipping out loads of players. Medical staff. Oh, I've never really looked at that. I don't know. Recruitment definitely needs work as well. The recruitment has not been great.
I've always felt that we're just cursed with injuries. And I think we have changed our medical staff over the last 10 years. Has it made much difference? I don't know. But
I don't know either. But thank you for that comment. I'm going to get through these super chats. Thank you, Mark T, a regular. Thank you, BD, as well. Previously, you also a regular. I see you. Yeah, Mark T says, thank you for coming back. He says, just met a Liverpool fan today. Had a chat and he felt sorry for me. Do you know what? I've had this as well. I've had this as well. And it burns. It's like the bigger teams are talking down to me. It hurts me so, bro. Mark, I hear you loud and clear.
I had an AFC Wimbledon fan say, I genuinely feel sorry for you guys. I was like, what? How low have we sunk?
I remember when we had that Man United comment. We had that Man United comment that was saying like, we just want our teams to go back to how they used to be the top two teams in the league. Yeah. I can't wait for that day to return. Now I've got Man United fans saying, bro, I hope things change for you. But it's leave us alone. It's so painful. Anyway, he carries on to say, he said he would rather have their injured squad than a fully fit Arsenal squad. Wow.
But that's not. I mean, look, personally, I don't think it's fair that Liverpool fans say that because we did rotate in the cup game and they couldn't beat us. So I don't think that's completely fair. What I would say, though, is the difference is Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp can take a significantly worse team and get much more out of them. He's the kind of manager who's able to extract every last drop out of players. Arteta's not that type. Arteta's like, if you're not doing it for me and you're not my man,
yeah,
you're not it. You're out, and I'll get my right man in. That's how I interpret Mikel Arteta personally. I might be wrong.
Yeah, fair. No, I agree. Listen, I wanna. I think I missed a super chat or two, so please forgive me.
I've got one here I can bring up for you.
Yes, please.
Richard here, she says, buy the good Southampton players, Vestergaard and James Ward-Prowse. In fairness, for me, Vestergaard might be all right, but I think we're covered in the centre-back position. I really do. James Ward-Prowse is a good player. I don't think he's quite the type we need. He is a good player, to be fair. But you're right. Dip into Southampton. Go get Danny Ings. Go get Gineppo. I really like Gineppo. Really skillful individual. That sort of player. So I agree.
I also think that will these clubs sell these players? It's very unlikely to us. Very unlikely. James Ward-Prowse especially, and the price tags they're going to be asking for English players is absolutely astronomical. It'll be a good signing, but it's unlikely it's ever going to happen. Especially especially where we're at the moment and whether clubs will do fair business with Arsenal right now. Jared McCormack, a regular as well. Hello. Don't know why United fans are crying about dropping into Europa. After all, it is the Premier competition. After all, it is the better theme song, to be honest.
You know what? I do that.
Theme song as well. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. They were heartbroken yesterday. They really were feeling it because they were out of the Champions League now. I was like, boy.
I've got to be honest. I don't really know why they're that bothered. I know you want to be in the Champions League. I get that, but they're not good enough to win it. I know if you're in it, there's always a chance, but they're not good enough to win it realistically. Whereas they could win the Europa League. They are good enough to do that. And on top of that, they qualified for the Champions League. They got the Champions League income and money and all that, and now they're in the competition that they're more likely to win. I'm not trolling United here. I'm being genuinely serious. Like Leipzig were semi-finalists. PSG were finalists. Like United were never favourites to come out of that group.
Yeah, to be To be fair,
they're gutted because they started it so well with the 5-0 and then winning in Paris and all that. But I'm not overly surprised.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Yeah, I also think what it is for United fans, as I have many that are friends, I think it's the underachievement of Man United. That's what I think is getting them. If you look at their squad, I mean, they got world beaters in there, in my opinion. They've got a class team in depth as well. They got depth in it as well. So I think it's just the underachievement. But listen, like you said, they have more chance of winning the they have more chance of winning the Europa League. Any comments? PSG versus Istanbul, rotten racist. HJM, this one riled me up last night. It riled me up. I didn't really want to get to this till the end, in my opinion. I will come back to it probably at the end, but just it's not acceptable. I mean, I've been go on.
You know what? I'm really sorry to interrupt you there.
Go on.
No, carry on, because you said something that I wanted to jump on, but no, carry on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, obviously, I will touch on it probably a bit more as we close the show, just to say, obviously, it's unacceptable, as we all know. But, we don't know what was 100% said. To me, it's clear, but I'm just going off what the pundit said, or BT Sport, like the Rio Ferdinands and that. They haven't got the full confirmation of what was said. However, to me, it seemed clear enough. I've been through it as a player as well. They don't get outraged. Black players don't get outraged for no reason. I respect both teams walking off. That is the right port of call. I think I'm just going to talk about it now because we're here now. We might as well just carry on. I won't do it at the end now. But yeah, I think it's the right port of call. It was nice to see both teams come together and walk off. That's what I'm happy with that. That's a good first step. However, the official should lose his job. That is it. If once we find out what was said, I think it's very clear. I think he should lose his job. I think that's the only precaution you can take. We can take a lot heavier precaution you can get, to be honest. But I think the minimum should lose his job for what was said. Do you know what? The only reason why I say it's shocking, an official saying that. I don't know how I would react. An official, like that just shows how bad it is in football. Like that's how corrupt it is. From when the people that are supposed to be protecting you are being racially abusing you. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I was angry with it last night. I spoke to Robbie about it. We put it in. We had a conversation. We put it in the group. James was in the group as well. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. And the thing that hurts me even more is it's just like you'd think times are getting better. With obviously, you'd think that what happened with obviously the Black Lives Matter movement, the people taking the knee, the George Floyd, the players coming out, the kick it out campaigns, and you think things are getting better, but it just evidently seems to be getting worse. The Millwall recently, the booing of the knee, which, in my opinion, I don't agree with the knee continuing. There needs more action other than just showing the knee. I think it should have been stopped way before we get the fans back, but. It happened, and the booing happened, and now obviously the racism from an official. It's outrageous at the moment. It's outrageous. I don't know what else you want me to say.
I completely agree. And sorry, I would really want to explain this bit. The reason I was going to interrupt was because I was going to say that I agree that actually we should fit a section in this show just to sort of really address that properly. As you said, you wanted to at the end, but I think let's just do it now as we're on it. The thing for me is, it's 2020, and with everything that's been going on, you're not going to fix this overnight. But you just thought that, we're really. I personally feel maybe that there's what's been going on, that at least there's more awareness. Is that fair? Yeah. I'm not sure. And so for it to be happening and these mistakes being happening, and you're hearing sort of. Oh, well, in this language, it means that. And, what we meant was this. And you're thinking, there's ever a time, though, where people are being really careful about mistranslation.
Yeah.
It's, come on. And in 2020, like, the thing that sort of makes me feel better about it all is the players walking off and going, no.
Yeah. That's the right thing.
Not happening.
Yeah. I respect that.
I love that. I really love that. It could have been very easy to go, we'll deal with this later. One walks off, but not everyone does, or whatever. But it was great to see the players walk off. And we'll find out in the coming days and weeks sort of what happens after that. But thank you for the super chat, because absolutely right to, it's not it's not an Arsenal problem, it's a world problem, it's a societal problem. And it happened, last night, and it's absolutely worth addressing. So, I appreciate that being brought up.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And James, thank you for your words as well. I appreciate you having an opinion and a stand on it as well. That means a lot to myself. So yeah, big up. And thanks for the super chat. Obviously, I could get into it more, but this is not. I'm not going to get into it right now because it's just not the show to do it right now. But I'm sure it'll be addressed as well within the team at AFTV, and that we all stand. We stand against racism, as I'm sure you're aware, as people watching and viewers. But yes, I'm gonna move on to Majid Albi. He says, Cecil James, what do you guys think of Cantwell? Really quality, a Premier League quality player. Now, we've spoken about this, James, haven't we? We have spoken about the likes of Buendia and Cantwell and those sort of players, that sort of profile. And yeah, I mean,
I like him.
Yeah, I like him. I keep saying this. There's a lot of players that Arsenal could sign, but to get us to where we should be fighting for top four, these aren't the players. Well, they are, but Cantwell, I don't think, is the player to bring us to the top four. He's a player that will fit in, maybe give us better performances, but I'm looking for players that will really change the trajectory of Arsenal right now, because it's all over the place. So Cantwell will be a good addition, but not the one to take us to battle in top four. I'm looking for player profiles like Bruno Fernandes coming in from Man United and changing up their whole season. That's who I want to see. Players like that.
We're going to pick up anyone from Norwich. I'd rather it be Emi Buendia. I really like Buendia. So yeah, Cantwell's good. Can play in the 10. Can switch off to the left. But speaking of number 10s, actually, as we're on it, we should probably give the Szoboszlai update. I don't know if this was covered in previous few shows, but I want to reiterate it anyway because it's very interesting.
Go on.
So,
sorry, James. Before you go, let me just hit these super chats. Rob Turner, doesn't matter who you get in with these rubbish tactics, 40 plus aimless crosses to air out of his depth. Allegri. Do you know what? Who having my friend yesterday? I speak. Yeah, sorry guys. This topic. Sorry, James. I know you're going to move on to that, but this is a nice topic to hone in on quickly. He's right. Obviously, we had 30. I keep saying a stat. I think it was 34 last game. It was 30 the game before. All these crosses now, and I told you, but we spoke about it. James has also broke it down. I think he gets from Pep. Playing the ball between the fullback and the centre back, and then cutting it across the box to score. What Man City do really well. We've also done it really well, but in the Europa League, it hasn't fared really well at all. In the Premier League, I think that's the tactic he's trying to go with. This is his process: get the wide players on the ball, the fullbacks, and cross it in. However, what you're saying there has a lot of truth in it, because we haven't got goal scorers. I think Aubameyang scored 2 from his head in most of his goals, only 2 from a header. The likes of Saka, you wouldn't say he's a player that scores from crosses. That doesn't seem like a natural finisher from a cross. Lacazette, we can argue he can score from it coming from the wide position, but he's more of a let the ball rip sort of striker and get shots off quick. So I agree. In the tactics, maybe wrong there, but is that down to, again, it's not down to the players, but it has a part to play with the players, because I think Arteta wants a profile player that can put the ball in decently and convert it. So I think we do need a new striker, not to get rid of Aubameyang, but a backup striker that scores that sort of goals. Obviously, we let Giroud go, and right now he's firing, but that's how football goes, especially for Arsenal. James, I don't know if you want to say anything on that. So I did cover quite a lot there.
No, you nailed it.
Perfect. I'm just going to move on to Mark T again. Thank you so much, Mark T. Always a pleasure. I was serving a customer at the register at the register at my work, and a customer told me not to touch her stuff because the virus was caused by my race. Wow. 2020 and we still have these issues. Upset and disappointed. Mark, I'm sorry to hear that, honestly.
Yeah, massively.
I mean, listen, I don't want to make this show about race at all. I don't want to go into it. It's a heavy subject, and I do a lot of panel shows. I did a lot of panel shows. James is aware of during the Black Lives Matter movement and Black History Month. I was involved, and it's a very heavy topic, and it takes a lot. I've had my own experiences. I'm sure there's many people in the comments and people watching had their own experiences. That can be traumatic, but I'm really sorry to hear that, Mark. And listen, 2020, you think things would have got better by what's been going on, but it just seems like it's going worse. I hope it hasn't affected you for like prolongedly going forward, because that's awful. That's awful. And if anything, that's just ignorance and naivety. Very uneducated customer that is. And I would have told them or her or him about themselves if it was me. we're not going to get into that because it's a very heavy subject. Right. Let's just try. Yeah, let's go back to Szoboszlai. Sorry to just brush these topics, but like I said, it's very heavy, and yeah, there is. Yeah, there will be a time and a place for myself to conduct, I guess, a speech on it, and same with, I'm sure, Don Robbie as well at some point. But we hope things really do improve. Let's get back to the football. Szoboszlai. What is, James? What is the update? I do want to. I'm intrigued here.
Yeah, this came from David Ornstein in the last couple of days. He's basically some exclusive info on Szoboszlai. Basically said it's a £25 million euro. Sorry, £25 million euro. Apparently, a €25 million release clause. Must be paid in full. There was a rumor that it had to be paid. It could be paid in 3 installments. Apparently, it's a load of rubbish. It has to be paid in full, and it has to be paid within 2 weeks of being activated. So, once the club says we're going to activate this release clause, you then got 2 weeks to pay it. Salzburg get 20% of the future sale based on the total fee, not the profit. And Szoboszlai must give notice by December 15th that he wants to leave, and bids must land by December 31st. So, what does this mean? Because I've just said a lot there. This all comes from David Ornstein on The Athletic. Go check it out, guys. It's a really, really fascinating update on the situation. The reason I say it's fascinating is because this isn't a January problem anymore. This is now a December problem. Not problem. Hurdle. It's a thing. It's a thing we've got to deal with, right? If we want Szoboszlai, we need to basically let him know by December 15th that it's happening. This is the contract you're on, and you're going to be signing. This is, have everything agreed with his agent. This is where you're going to be living, moving. This is where you'll be playing, and you're coming to Arsenal. That's what's going to happen. We have to have that. He needs to be happy with all that by December 15th, because that's when he needs to give notice to Salzburg that he wants to leave. That means the bid must come into the club by December 31st. Now, they've been very clever there, because by doing that, that gives them the whole window the whole January window to then scout for a replacement, look for someone else. So they've been very, very clever with that. They basically said, you're getting him quite cheaply, but you're going to do it our way. Because let's face it, he's probably a £30 million player, not a €25 million player. So that means Arsenal, if they're serious about Szoboszlai, we're going to be hearing, what's the date today? The 9th.
Yeah.
If they're serious about Szoboszlai, we're going to be hearing about it, imminently in the next week.
Yeah.
We'll have to know more, or at least have strong indications that there's more going on. Now, Romano, again, on that episode of the Arsenal Lounge that I mentioned, where he made an appearance with lead judges in Turkish, big up them. When speaking about Aouar, it came off the back of speaking about Szoboszlai. He said, Arsenal were talking and negotiating with the agent of Szoboszlai for many weeks. Now he has to make his decision. This week, after the Champions League game, he will make a decision. Arsenal are waiting to understand his final decision. And immediately after, if Szoboszlai decides for another club, they can move again for Aouar, which brings us into what we said earlier in the show. So if you're just joining, go back and have a look after. So this is really, really, really interesting now. This is kind of crunch time on that. We're going to basically be finding out in the next week what's going on with Szoboszlai. And it's quite exciting. It could mean we have a target nailed for January 1st, which would be great, because we've got more winnable games around that time. If we beat City, then we've got Carabao Cup semi-finals to look forward to. We can get them bedded in for the Europa League returns. So there's a lot going on. It's all up quite quickly.
There is a lot going on. I see in the comments a lot of people are saying, why would these players come to our club in the position we're in? And do you know what? That is a great question. The thing is, what I think is this is going to sound sad, but this is what I really think about this. I think the board, we always, me, all my aggression and anger is at the board currently. I'm not really on Arteta out. I'm on sort out the board, get out Kroenke or whatever. But what I know is that it's a drum that everyone's been banging. But they really need to perk up their ideas, because they're right. What are these players going to want? Why are they going to want to come to Arsenal after this season? I say put the money in, spend as much, well, not as much, but spend as much money as you can. Get the players that are of quality, proven quality, and sort out a manager after that. Shouldn't be too much of a problem if Arteta fails. But bringing the high-profile players, the good players that we all want to see, only because if we finish in the bottom half of the table and we don't win the Europa League, or an FA Cup, we're just a mid-table team. So and no top profile player is going to want to join Arsenal when they're just a mid-table team. I think we're lucky to have Thomas Partey and Gabriel right now. Obviously, Thomas Partey is injured, but these are players that really can change Arsenal's season. So we got to bring other players around them to keep them motivated. The likes of Aubameyang. I mean, I would love to hear the conversations Arteta had to get him to sign the thing. I'd love to hear, because I feel like a lot of the things he must have said, he might be deemed as a lie right now because it clearly isn't fabricating. But we need our players to get firing again. Jeremy Swazlynch, sorry, I heard you said about a super chat that we missed. I don't remember missing one, but here's one that you put in. Thank you for it. Over another regular. We really expect a 50-year-old Aubameyang to learn how to head the ball by delivering non-stop crosses. Someone needs to update Arteta on the meta. I think it needs a matter. But yeah, okay, that's a fair point. Obviously, Aubameyang, listen, 50-year-old, we've got to allow it. We can't be too critical of his age. We understand he's getting old, but he is still a shining light for us as much as he hasn't been recently. Listen, he's been there for us many times when we've been in need of goals. But you're right. I just feel like crossing and do you know what it is? Right. I think as I'm not a manager. I've got a level 2 coaching badge when I was a footballer. That's what I got. But
I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah, every young player, when you sign a contract, you have to do it as part of a scholarship or what's it called? Scholarship or sorry, it's just missed me. YTS. So older players do a YTS, but I did a scholarship. So yeah, it's part of your education. Level 2 coach badge. So what I just take from it, Arteta's thinking behind the crosses is the way the game is going. I've been saying this as well. It should be more shooting outside the box, but you have to fizz it in, because at the end of the day, nowadays VAR is so prominent that if it hits a hand, yeah, it's a penalty. If it deflects off a player and goes in, like it's a goal. I think this is the way football's going. It's just smash it in the box. If someone nicks a ball in front, like if a striker touches it in front and gets clipped on the ankle, it's a penalty. I think that's what it is. I think Arteta's just trying to drive scenarios by doing loads of crosses into the box to drive scenarios to benefit the team. However, it's not working. All of that, in my opinion, hasn't really worked. Like we said, he's had like 40 crosses. The conversion rate is poor. But I think that's the way the teams are going at the moment. Strike the ball as much as you can outside the box. Hope for a penalty. Hope for a deflection. And the same with crosses. Sorry, I was going to pop up this super chat before I move on. Andrew Lurjan says, number 1, kit fire. Is that me? I hope that's me. I spent a bit of money on the human race one. Thank you very much. Number 2, give him a window. Agree. I'm hoping we're agreeing with what you're trying to say here. I hope I'm saying what you're trying to say here as well, Andrew. I think he should get a window. I know he's had a small the last one, but before we really kick him out and you know what I mean, be harsh, I think we should give him another window. Number 3, creative type
midfielder, I think.
Midfielder. What am I talking about? I thought it was mid forward. Oh my god, my head went left. I was like, what? Me, a football midfielder. Sorry, guys, that was literally a mind blank moment. Creative type midfielder. James, you agree? I think we need more than one. Andrew, I don't know if you're saying three midfielders. No, I know it's number 3. Creative midfielder. Number 4, engine with pace in the midfield. Now, I think Partey kind of fills that spot. I don't know about you. I think he's an engine. I don't know how fast he is, but he gets back and makes great recovery runs. But then I suppose you back up my point there, saying 2 midfielders. Shouts from Seoul, South Korea. Oh my God, I'm all over the place. Sorry, guys, my head's spun. Andrew, apologies for this one. Having a mad time reading your super chat. I don't know, my head's gone left. It's the
excitement of having me back, just sending you off on one.
I'm going all over the place, and I hope I can make it to London one day. Andrew, whenever you're in London, give us a shout on social media or in the comments.
Yeah. I really want to go to South Korea. It'd be sick.
It'll be sick. Yeah. Whenever you're back, bro, just give us a shout. Hopefully, I'll be on the ground during an Arsenal game, and we can get you having a fan cam. That'd be exciting. I'm promising things that we don't know I can, but you know, I've been doing the fan cams recently. Right, here we go. Someone says Cecil, stop drinking. I don't drink. Okay, cool. Right, let's move on.
Let's move on to the next thing. So, Arteta has the full support of the club. I don't know how that's going to sit with many people in the comment section, or just Gooners around the world in general. Another piece on Ornstein. This was a YouTube video he did on his Ask Ornstein show. Basically said that Arteta has the full support hierarchy, and that he expects him to the board back him, whether that means financially as well, because that's what we really want to see. Sign Cecil B. Is that a combination of the two of us? Love that. I've got to say, when a manager is under pressure and they get the dreaded vote of confidence, when a statement's released and it says, we fully back our manager, blah, blah, and then 2 weeks later the results don't improve and they get sacked anyway. Luckily, we've not seen any of that. This backing comes in the form of just sources saying to other people, saying to journos, whatever. I like that the club has been quite quiet. I think Arteta is going to be supported in this January window. I actually do think he's going to be given some money. I think if of those how many, we lost 6 games, right? No, let's say 7 out of 11 games we haven't won, which is appalling. Of those 7, if we'd won maybe 2 of those or 3, and things are sort of looking better now on the table, I don't think Arteta would get the same money. I don't think Arteta would be backed in the same way. They'd say, well, look, continue treading water, and in the summer we'll give you what you really need. Things have gone so badly. I think the club are like, if we genuinely don't address this now, European football as a whole will be gone, and we are in big trouble. I think they're looking to invest now in Jan. I think they'll give him the money for 1, maybe 2 players as well. And they're basically saying we made all these changes at the club. We're not going to tear it all apart, because we've had a bad month. Basically, it's been a really bad month. It has, but in the grand scheme of things, of his 12 months in charge, it's been 1 bad month. So I think they're going to back him financially, and I think that's a good thing for the club. I think in January as well, a few players that weren't getting moves who were saying, well, I'll fight for my place at Arsenal and I'll see how it goes. And you never know. I think a lot of them are going, actually, this is really bad. I'm training, it's boring. The vibes aren't good. I'm getting paid, but actually there's nothing to that. There's no substance to it. I think the likes of Socrates, I don't know what. Socrates is a model professional. I really like the guy, but I think even he's thinking, do you know what? I'll take anything right now. I just don't want to be here.
He played in the under-21s last time. He's definitely. Do you know how much of a violation that is? For a player. I don't care if you want match fitness time. It's under-21s cup game. I know he's definitely ready to go. I've been in that position. He's probably looking for his exit right now.
Yeah, I think he is. I think Mesut Ozil as well. I think it's got to a point where he's like. The thing Ozil needs to understand, and this isn't me blaming him or putting it on him or whatever, the thing he needs to understand is football moves very quickly. People get bored very quickly. For a few weeks, it was, where's Ozil? Where's this? Where's that? In the last 2 defeats, people aren't really saying, where's Ozil? People are more saying, the team's bad. The team's really bad, and we need loads of investment. It's almost like people are starting to just internally just accept that Mesut Ozil isn't part of this group anymore. So I think even he's got to the point where he's like, there's no point in me fighting this anymore. There's no point in me trying to save face or get back in the team or anything. Or even just try and belittle the club. Nothing. I think there's no point for him anymore. So I think he'll be off as well. So I think they're clear out.
Yeah, I mean, Rob Turner says, thanks for your super chat, Rob, appreciate it. He says, so hopefully I can get this one right without being all over the place. There are big question marks over Arteta. Why does he pick favourites? Now, James, we have this argument all the time. Not us together, but with obviously the likes of Laurie, Robbie, and other people within the office. Willian, I agree he's a favourite of Arteta's, but I also feel like he's a favourite over Pepe. Definitely, he is. But they both have, in my opinion, both aren't good enough. Both haven't been firing at all. Xhaka, now. I'll be surprised. No, I won't. I won't be surprised. I'll be surprised to see him going forward. But again, that's just down to, I think it's down to injuries, James. Do you agree? Injuries and circumstances why Xhaka, I don't know if James is frozen. think James might have frozen there. I think Xhaka's only in the squad due to injuries and COVID positive tests from players. That's the reason why. Bellerin, I will be absolutely gobsmacked if I see Bellerin start against the next game against Burnley. Okay, mark my words. Yeah, mark my words. If I see make sure you guys get. If I see Bellerin start next game, I don't know what is going on. I will be very, very shocked. Yeah, very shocked. So hopefully we don't see the likes of Bellerin. I don't want to be harsh, but I mean, with the foul throw situation. Oh, James is back. Hello, James. With the foul throw situation, and in my opinion, don't think he can defend. I'll be interested to see him, even though they are consistently poor, which is true. But I think this is kind of the point where Arteta maybe saying, "I've had enough." That was the final straw. I gave you all the opportunities. Obviously, in January he'll be bringing in new players. We hope. Yet freezes out Ozil. I think that's a board decision. Saliba, I have no answer to that. That has infuriated me. Obviously, he got red carded last night. I don't know if that's down to temperament or anything, but I mean, if I was playing in the under-21s, knowing I'm better than first-team defenders, playing in a cup game, I mean, I'll be annoyed at the club as well. Pepe, obviously, he's red carded, so that's probably why he's not been integrated. But obviously, I'm aware before he wasn't still being played. I don't think Arteta trusted him enough. Guendouzi, down to attitude problems, in my opinion. But I actually don't think Guendouzi is still the profile player to bring the club, like I said, challenging for top four. He's definitely a good addition, better than what we have, but I want like world beaters without a real go. So that is, Rob, I do agree with you though. I know I gave you explanations and description on everything that you just said, but I actually agree. They're the biggest question marks I have with Arteta. The Saliba thing is probably up there with the biggest decisions that I question, and sometimes he makes very odd substitutions, in my opinion. Thank you, Jordan Stanters. Imagine asking Aouar to join us. yeah. We can only laugh, Jordan. You're fully right, bro. I don't know. As a player, being asked to join a club, the only promise and like confidence you have is I can change their season and be the Arsenal legend. That's how players would think. I could be the guy to change it all. I think that's what Partey kind of came in for as well. I reckon he got shown Vieira videos and got told like this is the club player I think you are and what you could do for the club. And that's what, listen, these recruitment tactics, they're out there. I'm telling you, for big players, they really are out there. They'll sit down with a player, they'll fly out ex-professionals or legends and have conversations with them, like to get the signed paper. This is what they do. So I feel that's the only thing that might get Aouar over the line. And because he obviously was interested in him before we got to 15th, and the last window was interested in him. So it kind of shows that we wanted you before our turmoil. And I think as a player who might, I don't know if he's mentally mature to respect that, but I would respect that as a player. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And people need to really stop underestimating how big a club Arsenal are. This is controversial to say we're the third biggest club in England behind Liverpool, Manchester United. We absolutely are. We've been in a downward spiral for I love that comment. We've been in a downward spiral for 4 or 5 years, and I completely appreciate that. And we've still managed to win trophies. We've still managed FA Cups. I don't care. It's more than a lot of the clubs have won. So that always plays a part. And these footballers, sometimes they're smarter than we think, or the money talks. It could be either one. But I think there are certain players who we're very reactionary. We're fans. We're very reactionary. We don't know what's behind the scenes. We are the only thing that gives us faith is performances. Sometimes press conference and chat and rumours, but really it's performances. But players have access to everything. When Aubameyang signed a contract, he would have been absolutely guaranteed that there was going to be heavy recruitment in this team. He might have been told, we're going to do what we can this window, but then January we're going back for the missing pieces, and then summer we'll upgrade that. And then by the start of next season, we'll be in a position where I genuinely believe we can, really, really push for top four and hopefully better. I don't think Aubameyang would have signed the contract basically being told, well, we're going to sign loads of players this year. And he goes, okay, cool. And then, love that comment. We're going to sign loads of players this summer. He goes, yeah, okay, that's cool. And then a month later, we haven't signed all the players we want. And it's like, oh, sorry, a month into the contract, we've already broken our promise. That would be horrendous running of the club. So So I think there's always more that we don't know about, and we just need to be patient. I know it's difficult with the results. I know that is really hard. I've managed to, having the day off has allowed me to clear my head and not think about Arsenal for a day and just take it easy. And I do just think, as bad as this is, as bad, and this is the worst I've ever known Arsenal, it is reversible. This can be fixed. It's so early in the season. We're still in all four of the things we wanted to do: win the Europa League, win the Carabao Cup, win the FA Cup, get top four. We're not out of any of that. They're still on. This isn't like March where you're out of 3 competitions and you're sitting in 7th and you're like, well, what do we do? The season's a complete write-off. This isn't a write-off now. It's bad. Let's do all we can in the league. Try and get a few wins on the board. See where we are by the end of January. We've signed a player or two. We've had some more favourable fixtures. Then we can see. I know, looking at you crazy. Look where you are on the table. I get that, but it is reversible. So let's try and have a bit of hope.
Yeah, I agree. James, thank you. I hear that. James, thank you. As much as you struggled through the Wi-Fi, the message was strong. We heard everything of that. So thank you for that. I agree. We got to be patient. I know as fans, it's infuriating, but it is infuriating. But we have to. And like everyone goes through a transitional period. I know we've been going through it for the past 10 years, but that's football. Now, guys, we'll take some last few comments before we wrap up here. I've got some nice ones here. We've got this one here from Donovan Miller. Do you think we will ship out Mustafi, Socrates, and co this window? I hope so. Harsh, but we need to free up some funds for other players to come in and really prove themselves at this club. I think those players aren't. Don't get me wrong; they've had amazing careers. They've had a lot better careers than me. So I can't slate too many. I don't slate that players often, because getting to the Premier League is probably one of the most difficult things to do in the world. So then certain players, Mustafi, Socrates, and certain other young players or other players, I think it's time for them to go, release funds for other players to come in. I hope they go in this window, but it's going to be difficult because everyone loves staying in London. They like being in London and in the Premier League, so it's always difficult to get players out once they come in. We have Joel Farella. Am I the only one if we should go for Pogba in January? Joel, I think, do you know what? I think you may be. I think. Jeez Louise. Sorry. I think you may be. I spoke with Robbie about this. If you want to check out the last show that I did last night with Don Robbie's show, it was my show, but had Don Robbie as a guest at 7 p.m. We spoke about this, and he was very against Paul Pogba coming in for Arsenal. And I played devil's advocate and was like trying to give him points to why we should have him, because I was like, someone commented saying Partey and Pogba next to each other. Imagine the greatness. And that is a good point, but like I do agree with Robbie. I don't think we should get Paul Pogba. He will end up being the same as Ozil. It'll be that sort of situation, in my opinion. They're luxury players. They're Rolls Royces. The team has to be built around them. I think the way Arteta wants to build his team is not around a certain midfielder or a star. I think he might have said that about to Aubameyang. That's what he's probably going for, but it's not been working. And I feel, again, I think he learns from Pep a lot, or takes from Pep. Pep doesn't have superstars that he works his team around. You can argue De Bruyne, but in my opinion, he just fits in and is just a world-class player. I don't think he fits the whole team around De Bruyne. They have loads of players that convert, even when he's not in the squad. So, unfortunately, sorry, that was a long-winded answer, Joe, but I don't know, there might be fans in here that agree that we should get Paul Pogba, but for this price tag and everything, definitely not.
This one made me laugh.
Go on. I'm getting slated for something. €2 with James New. 2.
Thanks for the contribution, Alan.
Super chat to get your Wi-Fi rated. Who's this guy? Who's this? Duke T Cecil, you're deluded. Why would he come to Arsenal? Please stop. Why? This is why we get laughed at. I didn't say he would come. I'm just debating whether the guy asked, am I the only one who would go for Pogba? I never said he would come, bro. Don't come for me like that. You better talk to the guy in the comments. You're right. I agree. I don't think we will. He wouldn't come. He wouldn't come. Why would he come? What else we got? We've got a super chat here. So I'm just looking for your last few comments before we leave. Rob Turner again. Thank you very much. Our problem is that we don't think like a big club. We tolerated Arsenal for too long, and a lot of this mess is again I messed up. A lot of this mess is his handle work. Do you agree? I do. First bit, James, what are you thinking? I don't know.
He definitely left us on the decline. That doesn't mean all our problems are his fault at all. I love Wenger, but he left us on the decline for sure.
Yeah,
Not he,
100%.
I think we got rid of him, if I'm honest. I actually think, I don't think he left. I think there was a strong push for him to leave. But
yeah. I think
the time he departed the club, we were on the decline for sure. We weren't improving under him.
He has previously come out and said he should have left earlier, but that's just it. But I don't think, I don't think it's the complete decline was because of him. I think a lot of managers, a lot of teams have suffered decline from their greats leaving. So Alex Ferguson, for example, as well, same thing. Since he's left, I don't think United have ever been the same. So yeah, we need to set Arteta a points target and sack him if he doesn't reach it. Now, James, this question has been prominent throughout my shows yesterday afternoon and yesterday morning when I was covering you both. The points, the next 5 games, James. I'm going to read them out to you. I've asked everyone in the comments a million times, so I'm sure you're bored of hearing this. I'm sorry, I'm just going to get James's opinion because I got Robbie's yesterday. In the next 5 games, how many points do you want from Arsenal? Do you think it will keep Arsenal safe? So let me just read out the teams we're playing. So obviously, it's a maximum of 15 points in the next 5 games. The next one is against Burnley. I'm only doing Premier League. We've got Burnley, Southampton, Everton, Chelsea, and then Brighton. How many points do you think is fair for him to sustain his job? Wow, sounds like it's 13.
You're gonna think I'm mad. I've gone for 11.
Wow, Robbie said 9. Wow.
Now hear me out. This is why. I think we have to beat Burnley and Southampton at home. I do think if we don't beat them both, it becomes borderline unacceptable. We've got fans back now. Fans back, so there's nothing wrong. So there's nothing. I don't. Even 2,000 fans is making noise. We've got to start winning our home games, and we need to start seeing a response. If we don't see a response in 2 home games, that's appalling. So I'm expecting 6 points out of those. Everton, they're not that good. I'm sorry, they're not that good. I was one saying at the beginning. I know they signed well, they recruited. Their midfield is good, but I don't actually. So a point there, 7 points. Chelsea and Brighton. Chelsea at home, Brighton away. I back Arsenal to beat anyone at home. I really do. Which is mental because we've lost all 3 of our last home games. So I know how mental that sounds, but I do feel like we should be better at home. And if Chelsea come into our yard, I expect us to beat them. Brighton away, I expect us to beat them. But I'm willing to accept we're probably, the way we're going, we're not going to win 4 and draw 1 of our next 5. So I'm going to concede a draw in one of those. So that's 11 points. So 3 wins, 2 draws from our next 5 games. Then we've got the Man City quarterfinal in the middle of that. I'd like to go through. If we don't, it's not a disaster. Now, I know that sounds mad. I know it sounds mad for where we are and how we've been recently, but we need a response. And I've been one of the loudest in saying our players aren't as good as we thought. We need a complete clear out. Arteta needs backing. I'm the first to say all that. But we are good enough, player for player, to beat Burnley. We are good enough player to beat Southampton at home. We are good enough player for player to get a point at Everton, maybe. I'm not saying going and winning there, but giving them a good game, maybe getting a point. Chelsea, well, we know we're good enough player for player and a one-off to beat them at home because of what happened in the FA Cup. And then Brighton away. But if we draw there, there's Brighton. Now, I know, again, I've said if you made a combined 11, you'd be surprised how few of our players get into the Brighton team. I get that. But the quality is there for Arteta to make it happen. We need to see a response, a burst, something from these players. So I'm expecting 11 points. We then got West Brom away. This is January. West Brom away, Palace at home, Newcastle at home, Southampton away, Man United at home. I'm expecting 2-3 wins out of that too. So 11 plus maybe another 9, let's say. So I'm expecting 20 points. What are we on now? 13?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me just check.
We're on 13 points. So
Yeah,
I expect to be on 33 points by the end of January. Is that excessive?
In my opinion, listen. here's my quickly before we shoot off, because we are fully running over and I need to get to the office. Here's my opinion, right? I spoke to Robbie. I said to Robbie, we're expecting as fans these points. Robbie said 9, which it's not. That's. I actually understand that 9 for me makes sense, but like fans are saying 9. People saying 15, 12. They want 4 wins. But here's where I have my my gripe, right? The thing is, our team right now is in a worse position than it was before. We have more injuries. Partey is out. Yeah, Partey was, in my opinion, was the guy that would be able to maybe change this season around, get us the points that we need. We've got likes of Saka being injured. Not injured. He's been overrun. He may be back. Obviously, he's not. Well, to me, he's one of the best players in the team. But I'm relying on Saka. He's going to be overrun. Likes of Pepe's got a red card still. We're actually in a worse position. Our team is worse off right now than it was before. It's not got better. So to expect better results to me doesn't make sense. So this is why I haven't really given my points tally, but I'm just not going in a optimistic.
We're playing more favourable opposition.
Yeah. That was Rob. Sorry, Jay Scott. That's what Robbie's argument was. He was like, I expect us to beat Burnley. I expect us to beat Brighton. I expect us to beat Everton. Like, we have better teams than theirs. Everton, I question, because I think Everton got quite a good team. But this is what I'm saying. I don't want to be. I expected us to beat a lot of teams. Wolves, Leeds. I know we were drawing against some of them, but it never happened. So I'm at a position where I'm just seeing what Arteta has in front of him and what he's tried, and it clearly hasn't worked. So I don't see going forward how we're gonna get these points on the table. But you know what? I like to be proven wrong. It makes me happier. So instead of me being up here and then being disappointed, and this is when my mood has to drop, that hurts me. I'd rather be here and then be surprised, and then my mood rises, and we can be positive. That's not. You know me. I'm a positive guy anyway. That's just my opinion.
I agree, and I know we need to round up, obviously, so I'm going to make this point really, really, really quick. I completely agree with you, but when I'm thinking about the manager and whether he deserves to stay in the job, and everyone knows I've backed him as much as anybody, I really believe this is not all on him. What I would say, though, is if we are not getting those sort of results and it's not starting to turn around, I don't know if I can have any more faith. Because when I look at those games, Palace at home, Newcastle at home in January, West Brom away, Brighton away, all these, Chelsea at home. We can't turn up for Chelsea at home. If we are not picking up these points, then I think you've got to start looking at a change of manager. And I will forgive. Do you know why I'll forgive him for this first bit? Because we started, butterbeer, it was all right. It wasn't all that, but I did try it. Of course I tried it. So where I forgive him is that we had a terrible start, as in a very difficult start, with obviously the Community Shield early on. Then we had Liverpool, City, United, all these teams, right? I get that was a really tricky start for the club. On top of that, we then had Leicester, Wolves, good sides, Villa, decent side. We had them come to the Emirates without a full crowd, and we know anyone who's saying fans not being there doesn't make a difference. You only got to look at the stats. It absolutely makes a difference. So I'll forgive the club for getting in a bit of a rut, bit of a downfall. It's really hard. You've been a player to dig yourself out when you're losing. But that's all out the way now. We're going to have Premier League games back to back. If we cannot find some sort of form throughout December and January in what is by a country the most favourable part of our season in terms of fixtures, then I do think Arteta's got to go, personally.
Yeah, I fully agree with. Listen, I'm not saying that. I'm saying obviously what I see in front of me, the points are unlikely to be tallied up. But yeah, if it comes to that point where we're not getting the points, there's no other option. And if anything, we've been fair. As a fan, I always give managers time, because I hate the banishment of managers early. I hate it within a club. It's a culture that we live in at the moment. Get rid of the manager, bring someone else in. Honestly, it infuriates me. Just bringing in new staff, having to restart. I hate it. But I've been so patient with him. I'm currently Arteta in. Like, I can't be that forever. I'm going to start looking like Ty, and sounding like Ty. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree, James. Before we head off, last little comment. Reality is 10 out of 11 poor performances. Rob Turner. I agree with Rob. I fully agree. And last question. This guy keeps spamming it. Guys, would you pick Eriksen over Szoboszlai? I would not. I've said this a million times. I wouldn't want Eriksen at the club. He's an okay player, but you know what I mean, ties with Tottenham, and on top of that, there's better options for us. I'd rather have Isco over him. So that says that all. I think James agrees. I know he does. He would probably take Szoboszlai. I know he likes him. Lastly, I believe that's everything. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Sorry we've overrun. We did an hour show this morning, but hey, we like I always say, there's no overrunning really because we haven't got a time frame for this show. But thank you for joining us. There's been a lot of you in the comments and viewers. We appreciate it. Honestly, I love this morning's show. I love connecting with you guys. We're back again tomorrow morning, as always. Please join us. More conversations, more topics, and we'd like to hear from you guys. Please enjoy the rest of your day. And tomorrow we're back in Europa League. Hopefully we can get another win. Take care. Peace.
Ed! This week's challenge is the two-touch challenge. To the left of me, we have the fan. You nervous?
Yeah, a little bit.
And to the right of me, we have the influencers.
Oh!
And they're going up against me, the host.
And again, yeah?
So how'd you feel?